Hey there, Dirt Bike people. I'm Chuck from TrueTech, and today I'm going to fix something in the shop that has been bugging us for 5 months. If you work in a shop, you know that a shop is never really completely finished. There's always things that would be nice to have or things that are needed. Well, this is one of those things that desperately needed to be done, but I didn't want to do a half-assed job. I wanted to do it right the first time so that it's convenient and we never really have to address it again. That is the Airline system. So in this video, I'm going to go over the pros and cons of different airline systems, why we went with what we went with. I'm going to go over the process of installing it, and I'm going to go over the cost as well. Let me show you what we got going on. So over here in the warehouse, we have a massive compressor. The compressor cost me like $300 or $400, I forget. And then it cost me over $2,000 to put it in. It's a 3-phase, 220, 10 horsepower, 30 CFM, 170 PSI. This thing's a beast. This old building is already plumbed for air. There's drops all over the place. It's one of the huge advantages to this building. However, just because there's air all over the place doesn't mean that it's practical to be used. There's an outlet right here at the lathe, but this is definitely not the size of fitting that we use. And that's about it. There's no other outlets anywhere in this side of the shop. Like, there's air everywhere, but it's not accessible. There's this big reel over here. What we've been doing is just using this roll-up reel that's up on that beam there, and that's our one outlet. Like I say, there is one here by the lathe, but this reel is right here as well. So we never end up using that one, and we just grab that yellow line, plug it into here, and it gets used on Jake's bench whenever he needs air. Troy goes and uses it. It's super inconvenient. Now, there are some problems with airlines. The big one is that they're always in the way. These freaking hoses are laying around all over the place, and the forklift drives over them, they get in the way, people trip on them, they get damaged when stuff gets dropped. I wanted an airline system where they were conveniently accessible, but not in the way. In previous shops where I've worked, we ran the airlines underneath the benches, and then there was a little outlet, you know, kind of right next to each bench. And that was decent, but you always have the airlines kind of laying on the floor, kind of like our suction system there. That's going to be another thing to address at some point. And there's always a lot going on at bench level. So I didn't really want to put the airlines at bench level. I wanted to keep this area as clean as possible because it's always cluttered anyway. And I don't like hose reels. There are some high quality ones, but there's mechanical moving parts and they're just not as reliable, and sometimes they get stuck and sometimes they don't roll up properly. They're expensive. They tend to have air leaks. I want this thing as reliable as possible. I hate having air leaks. It's so annoying. It just drives me nuts when I walk around in the shop and I can hear the hissing. Our compressor is more than adequate for our system, and it's so annoying when I hear it running all the time. It draws a whole bunch of power. If our system is sealed up properly, that compressor only runs 2-3 times a day. So I'll jump to what we got going on. We did this yesterday. This is what I've come up with, and I'll go over why we've done this. First of all, just the placement. So these drops here, they're above head level. They're about 7 feet, and I might shorten them a little bit, but so far they're good. We have them kind of between benches. We have them at convenient spots. One over by the suspension area. Jake's got one by his toolbox. We got one in the corner. We got one over here. We're going to eliminate that stupid thing. Constant source of frustration, both leaking and it doesn't roll up properly. So previously, I've always used PVC to do my airlines, or PEX, one of the two. And they do work very nicely, and they're cheap. Copper is expensive. The reason why I didn't go with PVC again this time is because it's not as reliable. Basically, the plastic is not as rigid, and when PVC is moving around and wiggling, and you have airline fittings, they tend to develop leaks. With my previous shop where I had a low ceiling, it wasn't a huge deal. I could just tighten up a fitting or re-glue something and it was easily accessible and maintained. But here, since the ceiling is, I don't know what it is, like 20 feet or something, I didn't want to have to maintain them, and I want it to be efficient. I don't want us to have to mess around with airline fittings. And the other thing is that with PVC, switching to an airline fitting, you're always dealing with threads. And a metal threaded fitting going into a plastic piece, it's very hard to get them to seal up. I've gotten pretty good at it, but with a system with this many drops, I guarantee you we would have leaks periodically, and I just didn't want to deal with it. I wanted to pay more up front, spend a little more time, do a little extra, get it right the first time. I did consider galvanized threaded pipe as well, and that's what the rest of the building is plumbed with, and it is super reliable. It is really sealed up nicely. So that's a high quality option, but it would be more work to install, I think, because I mean, I guess I've never done it, so I was comfortable with copper. I have not done a whole lot of copper soldering, but I'm pretty good at soldering, so I was confident that we could get it sealed up and reliable. And once copper is soldered, it's good. I know that we're not going to be dealing with leaks with this system. So I guess ease of install between galvanized pipe and copper. The other thing that I always consider when building an airline system is how many fittings it takes. And that's another drawback of PVC. Like I say, going from a larger PVC pipe down to a 1/4 inch airline, you need generally a lot of fittings, and every time that there's an extra joint, there's potential for a leak. And with this system here, there's really very few fittings and very few places where there are potential leaks. So it just adds to the reliability. The other really important consideration is, what do we actually use our airlines for? And that's an important question because it's really changed over the last 5 to 10 years. It used to be that mechanics used a lot of air tools, whether it was a larger impact gun or a lot of bike mechanics use a air ratchet. We used to use die grinders. That's all changed with the advent of electric impacts. So really there are 3 common things that we use air for. Number 1 is our benches. Our benches all lift using air. That's important. And it's a problem because airlines tend to lay around on the ground like that. So what we're doing is moving to a system where our benches are not plugged in constantly, but where it's very easy to plug them in quickly. So that keeps our floors clean. We can drive the forklift around, keeps us from tripping on stuff, easy to sweep. Obviously, we use air to fill up tires. We do a lot of mooses here, but side-by-sides, ATVs, and the odd dirt bike, we do still fill up tubes. So we need to keep that option open. Also, the drop right there is right by the door. So if we put a coily hose on there, it's gonna reach 20 feet out the door. And as you can see here, we have a whole bunch of coily hoses. There's another one over there by Jake's bench right now. So we have multiple shorter length hoses that we can put together if for some reason we need to be 100 feet out in the parking lot. And let's see, this thing's hanging here. It just reaches the floor, which is perfect. I'm way over here on this side of the shop. Like I'm over halfway. Like I'm at the other edge of the door, and that's all the way from Jake's bench over there. With that drop, we'll be able to go to the opposite corner of the shop if we need to, with one single coily hose. So probably what's gonna happen, the coily hoses are gonna live kind of like that. And I'll probably end up making hooks, so maybe we can hook them on the edge of the bench or something. Very clean, out of the way. We can easily take that and move it to any of the other stations, and all the stations are the same. There's another little pro tip that I've learned over the years, and I don't know exactly why. I've been frustrated with the typical white Teflon tape. I only buy this orange or pink stuff, and it's thicker. I think it's for fuel, and some of it is for propane or natural gas or something. But it's significantly thicker than the white stuff, and it's a lot stronger and stretchier. Basically eliminates all my leaks. I used to struggle and have to do them multiple times and be really careful. This stuff, you just wrap it around, tighten her up, they never leak. So when it comes to install, basically I wanted to do as much on the ground as possible. Fortunately, we have a forklift, which makes the sealing pretty accessible. So I started with soldering all the T-connectors and getting all that sorted out. After the T-connectors were cooled, then I added the airline fittings. The big question was, how big of a section can we put together on the ground and still be able to lift it up? Jake had a great idea here. Basically what we did is I built this whole section, and about half of that, about up to there, on the ground. Then we pinned that first end in place, just kind of loosely, and then pivoted up the rest of it. After that, it was pretty straightforward. We were able to build the rest of it on the ground, measuring carefully, and then just connect the two. So really, we only had to solder one joint, that one there. Other than that, it was all just basic assembly. And we had to tie it into the rest of the airline, and because that stupid thing is definitely getting deleted, I just took the hose off of it, and I got some fittings, and I was able to connect it into our new airline system. And there's already a valve there, so I didn't even have to purchase that. Now, cost, let's talk about this. The cost of this is pretty significant, and I'll try and get as close as possible. So my first run to Home Depot, tax in, was $602. That's Canadian dollars, keep in mind. What that got me was 8 12-foot lengths of copper 1/2-inch pipe, all of the T fittings and elbows, and these little mounting things. Those mounts come with copper nails, they're crazy. And I have some left over, so I'm gonna be able to go to Home Depot and return some of this stuff. What it did not include was these airline fittings. Always got a box of airline fittings, because that's just something you need in a shop. As you can see, these are extra long fittings. The reason that I use these is because the typical short fittings, they always leak, and I hate it. You can see in my box of fittings, there is not a single typical short connector in there. They all have these longer spigots. Basically, when you plug these things together, I think what's happening is this is longer, so it's more stable, and they don't wiggle around, and you never hear a leak. Also, those T-joints there, basically it's a T, and then there's a soldered fitting, and then there's a brass fitting that goes to a hose barb. This is 3/8 line here. On this end, it goes to a hose barb that goes directly to the Airline fitting, and all the flexible Airlines are put together with Oetiker clamps because those things are super reliable. Now, I don't know what this 3/8 hose costs because we had a hose reel kicking around, and since we don't want to use a hose reel at all, we just cut up the hose reel and we had exactly enough to do 6 drops, which is exactly what we wanted. Now, these Airline fittings, they are pretty pricey. I think they're about 17 bucks each at our local auto supply store. So I bought them on Amazon probably a couple years ago, and I probably paid a couple $100 for, I don't know, 40 or 50 of them. Like I said, if you have a shop, you always need Airline fittings. It's not quite done because the other thing that we're gonna do is every mechanic is gonna have a coily hose, and the coily hose is going to hang from these drops, which are just above head level. And so we're not going to have hoses laying around all over the place. Like that hose is going to get cleaned up because it's laying on the floor, and that shouldn't happen. So we're probably going to have 3 coily hoses, and one will probably live there, maybe one will live here, but wherever it's convenient, that's where a coily hose is going to hang, and we can always move it whenever we want to. So this system allows us to have a rigid line, no mechanical moving parts, yet it still allows us the flexibility to move our hoses around to different spots and remove them entirely so that they're completely out of the way on the bench. I left early yesterday, but Jake and Troy aired this thing up after I left, and the air compressor is off. I confirmed that, and this has been plugged in all night. Solid pressure. So there it is. All together, it's just a long piece of copper pipe, drops at 7 feet, so we can reach them. Well, everyone except Troy can reach them. Minimal fittings to minimize leaks. Airlines are out of the way, but we can plug stuff in whenever we want. We have access at every workstation. I'm sure I'll be doing a little bit more content on this as we use these Airlines. Let me know what you guys think. I'd be curious to hear what you guys have in your shops, if there's other creative solutions that you guys have. It's certainly possible that we may be modifying or adding to this Airline system at some point in the future. So I'm keen to hear your guys' ideas. Leave them in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching.